front more as well. Come on, hand it to people who have one or don't have one that's lit. It's not lit. Here you go.
Let's look online too.
Very good. Very good.
Soldiers. 13. She called him.
My name is Amy C. Hack. I wanted to say a few words about why we're here. We joined tens of thousands of people at 886 Move-On gatherings across the country tonight on the 5th anniversary of the Iraq invasion. We gather here to honor the 3,992 U.S. soldiers who died. Yes, 5 more since I posted this event have been confirmed dead. And we gather here to honor the 29,314 soldiers who were wounded since 2003. From Illinois alone, there have been 143 soldiers that have died, and 4 are from Aurora. We honor the 89,000 named Iraqi civilians and the millions of Iraqis that have been forced out of their homes to flee the violence. And we cannot forget the 1,001 civilian contractors from all over the world who've died in Iraq, driving trucks, serving food, building schools and roads. On top of all that, people here at home, far from the front lines in Iraq, are suffering due to a slowing economy, and we don't have the resources to help them because we're wasting billions in Iraq. But despite all the problems, the war has been falling out of the headlines. And that's why it's so important that we're here. Hundreds of vigils like this are happening all over the country, and together we're sending a message to our leaders. We're here to say that it's time for new priorities and a new page in American foreign policy. We're here to show politicians in Washington that more than Americans than ever are demanding an end to the war. We've had enough of the Bush administration's priorities. It's left us an unwinnable occupation and a shattered economy. And make no mistake, there are plenty of candidates and elected officials who want more of the same. Now is the time for leaders who will invest in a sound foreign policy, real security for America and education, job creation, and a clean energy economy. Today, as part of hundreds of vigils around the country, we're making the message powerfully clear. So thanks again to everyone for coming. Your presence here is making a real difference. At this point in the event, we'll share 5 stories from veterans and military families across the country who are paying the price for this disastrous war. These stories from fellow Move-On members and their words are a powerful and important reminder of why it's critical that we bring our troops home safely and quickly and start investing in critical needs here at home. Here's the first story from Mary in Kentucky. Her husband is a sergeant in the Army, currently deployed in Iraq. Mary says, for the second time, my husband is serving a 15th-month tour in Iraq. I am now, for all intents and purposes, a single mom to 4 little kids aged 7, 5, 4, and 2. They need their dad in their life. The oldest has been most adversely affected by these repeat deployments. He's big enough now to know that Dad could end up being dead. The emotional and physical stress of being the spouse of a deployed soldier is more than just hard work. It's intense and traumatic. Even if my husband comes out of Iraq physically unscathed as a medic, he has seen things that will leave him emotionally scarred. I worry about not only his physical health but his mental health every waking hour. Instead of spending billions in Iraq, we should invest in education, veterans benefits, and health care. So let us pause for 1 minute of silence and reflection to end the war. Thanks, Mavis.
This story is from Dawn in Michigan. Her daughter served in Iraq. Dawn says, my daughter left her husband and her 20-month-old son to serve at Balad Air Force Base in Iraq. Her family was irreparably damaged. She is now divorced, and her son has become emotionally torn. due to the absence of his mother during this important time in his life. My daughter experienced things that no child should have to endure, and I experienced the fear that no mother should have to endure, not knowing whether your child is alive or dead until the next phone call. I consider myself a patriot, and I know that my daughter is a patriot and a hero. But one thing that she said to me before she left was, "It's my duty to serve, and I do it willingly, but it's so hard to do it for a cause that I don't believe in."
Okay, it's not about this war, it's about Vietnam. In Rockford, the first casualty was my cousin Felix. He was 21 years old. The last casualty in Rockford was my cousin Junior. You know, it's not really great to know that it's in the family, but when I see my aunt crying 30 years later with the war, and she can't forget her son who was in Vietnam for 2 weeks, and he died. And he, you know, yes, they're a hero, but that doesn't comfort us at home because we can't make a meal for them, we can't hug them, we can't tell them we love them because they're in a foreign land. My brothers once told me when I was terrified of the Korean War, he said, "Don't worry, because it's over there. It's not going to come here to Sterling," because I lived in Sterling. He said, "It's not coming home." But you know, I think that's wrong because we all feel it now. We all feel it, whether it's our children or not. We know it's the future. Vietnam took all our young men, our great young men. They took that, because that was my era. I said they took a whole population of guys that could have achieved a lot of things, that saw a lot of things that we will never ever see. But and it's there years later. So this war ending, we can bring every troop home, but we're going to see the effects, and the people who are now living it will see it and remember it the rest of their lives, because we talk about the war now. We talk about the post-traumatic syndrome. We know that these people are in need. We don't talk about the Maine and the ones that can't get medical attention because that doesn't make front news. Nobody wants to hear that. So I think that it is us that have to remember continuously in our daily lives that there's a lot of people that's going to hurt, and I really think that government doesn't look at it that way. It's dollars and cents. It's dollars and cents. So please, let's change the administration. Let's get out, do our duty, vote. Thank you.
My name is Susan Leston. I was against the war in Vietnam. I'm against this ridiculous war. I feel that all of you who feel the way I do, and the millions of Americans who feel the way we do and are out on the other 800 vigils tonight, are the true patriots, plus all of the hundreds of thousands of men and women in the military, much more so than the millions of Americans that never question anything that comes over the media. They never question anything that comes out of the White House. They have their dinner every night and go to work every morning, and the status quo stays the same. We are the ones who are proud of that flag. We are the ones who are proud of the concept that America was founded on. If anybody would like to join me in pledging allegiance to that flag, I think that would be a cool way to end. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.